Welcome to Season 2 of Forgotten Video Store, the podcast where we go to the rental store of the same name in North Hollywood and pick out one of their unique movies that you can't find anywhere else on the planet. I'm your host, David Murto, aka Daddy Big Cup. I'm taking this show in a new direction this season. The first season was marked by a bit of silliness, but from now on, this is a serious film criticism podcast. And as such, I haven't invited the type of Season 1 riffraff to be my guest, so no comedians, no animation writers. Today, I've got a real film critic. She's the senior entertainment editor at Consequence. We've got Liz Shannon Miller! Liz, thank you so much for going to the video store with me.
No, my pleasure. I feel like I go boo-boo!
Liz, correct me if I'm wrong, but Consequence used to be called Consequence of Sound?
Yes, it's a fact that surprises many people, ranging from PR representatives to Edward Norton himself, who was very confused when I interviewed him last year and was like, wait, do you mean Consequence of Sound? Like, I think he spent the entire 10-minute interview thinking, wait, what did she say at the beginning? And I need to clarify at the end.
Oh, good. It's good to conduct an interview with someone who's befuddled the whole time.
I mean, he was actually pretty pleasant, so yeah, it worked out well for me. I think
Ed Norton, famous for being pleasant.
A general thing with actors is that they're much easier to talk to if they like promoting the project they're talking about.
Sure, yeah.
And Edward Norton knew he was going to he was working his way towards that supporting actor nomination.
Was
so
this for
a complete unknown?
Yeah.
Anyways, but sorry.
No more of sound.
Yes.
Would you say you know a lot about sounds?
I know that sound is 50% of the film experience. I learned that fact at film school. And
then how do you explain Charlie Chaplin?
He was only making 50% of a movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, suck it, Charlie. I just watched the movie Babylon, which is a very accurate retelling of the sound era of film becoming a thing. And so I'm very full of these facts.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, Babylon, it's a good time. Every single bodily fluid you can imagine is represented on screen at one point or another.
Yellow bile?
You know what? I think there's a real chance that the answer is yes. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I am a professional film critic. I am on lists. They send me emails saying
you're one of the people on Rotten Tomatoes.
I am not to brag, a top critic on Rotten Tomatoes.
With the little star?
I got a little star, baby.
Nice, congrats.
Thank you. I think I was part of a diversity push about 8 years ago, I think.
Oh, cool.
And I will take that and I will run with it. So yeah, I'm a professional film critic, which I think the thing that people really need to understand about professional film critics is I don't even know if I really live up to this as much as some of the people I know do, but it really is like you can let it be your whole life and you can really eat, sleep, and dream movies to a degree that I don't know if people realize is possible. And so, like, visiting a place like the Forgotten Video Store is always a really special occasion because, you know, it's a real palace of cinema. And by palace of cinema, I mean it is a little weird and gross. And
I think it's nice.
You know, you can't be expected to find real cinematic classics like the one we're going to talk about in your average, in like a clean video store or arguably any other video store.
That's true. As far as I know, they have the only copy of this movie on the planet. And the movie in question that you picked out today is something called SlumberCube.
SlumberCube!
From 1996, starring such favorites as Keanu Reeves. Pre The Matrix, Halle Berry. What'd she win her Oscar for? Monsters Ball.
Monsters Ball, yeah.
And the third guy was, it's one of those guys. I know his face from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Is it Dennis Franz?
It could be Dennis Franz, and I wish I could remember if it was Dennis Franz, because the other thing is it could be Dennis Farina.
At first I thought it was Dan Hedaya. Is it maybe Dan Hedaya?
It's so funny how it just like slips the mind. It's like it's Franz, it's Farina, it's Hedaya.
He's been on a lot of stuff.
He's at one point or another had a mustache. But yeah, SlumberCube. Thank you for letting me go with this one. It ticks off a lot of boxes for me. I mean, first off, it's got Keanu. I love Keanu Reeves. I love mid-90s movies that depict a future that's so far from what we could possibly imagine that it's fascinating to look back at the 90s and think about the things that people were really concerned about happening in the present. And by the present, I mean the future. and, see how, like, really a lot of those worries were really unnecessary. Like,
right.
Nothing came to pass. The way that SlumberCube starts is, it's a strange, crazy world. It's this dystopian future. It's kind of like everyone's corporate drones working their way up these mega corporation tiers and, like, trying to reach different status levels and get, like, new amenities, reach a level where you could maybe have, like, walls around your desk.
Keanu's not there yet. He works in, like, a bullpen area with hundreds of other drones.
Yeah.
And they have to do, like, menial tasks in front of a glowing screen.
It really is a bummer to just imagine that kind of lifestyle and having to live it out every day. And I think the movie does a really good job of capturing that aspect, frankly.
But it's pretty soon, Franz Farina Hidea, whoever it is, he plays like a boss character, right?
He's Keanu's boss.
Whichever one it is like, Keanu, how many sleep points did you get last night?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's like, it's weird to think about, like, the system, like, designed to track your sleep.
It's nightmarish.
Yeah, like, giving you, like, daily updates on
percentage of how active you were overnight or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird.
But Keanu's like, well, as you know, I'm not tracked in my sleep because I'm one of the few people who's allergic to silicone.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, as plot points go, like, it's a little convenient for Keanu to be allergic to the silicone that helps track everything in this world. But at the same time, like, these things happen. We make all sorts of narrative leaps in fiction. So
here's where I'm at. If you introduce something like that in the first 10 minutes, I'll go with it. If you introduce it in the last act of the movie, I'm like, you're cheating a little bit.
That totally makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, he's allergic to all these devices, and, like, everyone else in the movie, like, has to constantly be checked in for, like, this dystopian surveillance state. They have these devices, I forget what they call them, like, mobiles, or, like, something like that, and they have to, like, constantly... Mobiles. Because it's, like, the thing that a baby plays with.
Yeah, exactly.
It's maybe named after that, but it's not. It's like a little, like, rectangle thing, and they have to constantly check in. Like, every time you go to the bathroom, you have to, like, pull it out and, like, check in so it can, like, track where you are, what you're doing all day, every day, basically. Yeah. Every time you go anywhere, like, instead of just, like, looking at a map or even just, like, knowing where you're going, because, like, these people go to work every day, presumably, but they always, like, type in where they're going onto their mobiles.
Yeah.
And so, like, the surveillance state can always track where they're going.
It's really interesting too, because, like, a lot of times in the movie they're using their mobiles to come up with information that they could have probably figured out on their own, frankly, like how to get to work.
Right.
Like, they could have theoretically learned how to do that, like, without needing to check their device.
Right, and they even ask it, like, dumbass questions like, oh, mobile, what's 7 + 9? It's like the kind of shit that in our day we would just think for a second. But they're so reliant on these dystopian devices that track them everywhere that they have lost the ability to think, seemingly. But Keanu's not in that boat. He doesn't have it. So he's explaining to Franz or Farina, he says to his boss and the audience, like, I don't have any of those devices because I'm allergic to silicone. So in my SlumberCube, I don't get tracked.
Everyone knows it's for medical reasons. He's not one of those, like, weirdo freaks running the anti-surveillance liberation front. We'll get to that, of course, later. And that's why he's so excited when, Hidea, Farina guy, is like, hey, I got a way I can help you out if you can help me out.
So what happens basically is that Dan Hidea, or whatever his name is, takes Keanu to, like, the photocopy room.
Right.
But it's like a futuristic photocopy room where they have, like, they can do, like, 3D printing and stuff.
Yeah.
So he makes a photocopy of Keanu's eyeball.
Right.
And it's real cool. It, like, plops out and it's all goopy and stuff. It's not like a plastic version. It's like a real, all new eye.
You need the real eyeball.
Yeah. Hidea tells him basically, like, just give me between 7 and 9 p.m. And so that night we see Keanu, like, go out for drinks and stuff. Then we learn like a little bit more about the world.
Yeah, and like people always like, and you see like the weird looks he gets by having to use money, paper money, and he's like sitting there with like a physical book, like an actual book made out of paper.
Yeah, everyone else is just looking at their mobiles, and he's looking at pieces of paper.
It was interesting. I thought it was interesting the way they kind of slow played out the full nature of the favor that that Mr. Farina Hedaya Franz was asking.
Yeah, why does he need to use Keanu's SlumberCube? Yeah. I'm also wondering, what is a SlumberCube? But I guess it's just like where they go to sleep, right? Because like in this world, there's not enough housing for everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
because, we learn like there's like this nefarious organization that's called like Black Rock or something like that. That's like has bought up all the houses in the whole country and is charging like exorbitant prices for them. So everyone just like sleeps in a SlumberCube instead.
Yeah, I feel like it all plays out really nicely when we finally get to go inside a SlumberCube. And I do feel like on a cinematic level, our first experience inside the SlumberCube is really well done. It's very convincing.
And we get to that like when it's like 9:05 or something, he goes and he can tell like the SlumberCube is like glowing and kind of almost looks like it's breathing a bit, like it expands and contracts. And there's like, there's hundreds of SlumberCubes.
Oh, sure.
But he knows which one is his, and it's kind of glowing still. And he's like, oh, he's still in there. He like
when
knocks
the SlumberCubes are rocking.
Yeah, but eventually like you first see a woman sneak out and you don't see her face yet. But then you see Dennis Franz or whoever it is come out and he's like, oh, I can't thank you enough. And he gives him his eyeball back. Basically, the word gets out that Keanu is like the only person in the city whose SlumberCube has no, I forget what it's called, like Alexi or something like that, who's like constantly watching and listening, who's like one of these, basically like a stationary mobile device that is constantly tracking these people and listening to their every word. Yeah. And so Dennis Franz Farina Dan Hedaya's character ingested too much of a serum called like Blue Chew or something.
Right.
So he's constantly horny and his wife cannot keep up. So he wants to cheat on his wife and can only do this in the only place in the city with no surveillance, and that's Keanu's SlumberCube.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh when you describe it. It just because it's played super seriously in the movie. This is like it's a big deal.
And you do see like you can tell he has a boner in every scene he's in.
It is played super seriously. Tonally, I feel like it adds something. It adds something. There's something about having a character who has a boner in every single scene he's in.
As a man, I found it frightening. Because that is not comfortable after a while.
No, of course. You need to go see a doctor after a couple of hours. But I do think there's something about it that captures, not to be all highfalutin about this, but
that's why you're here, is to be a
I'm just saying, like the fragility of man's spirit. As someone who, as a cis woman, like I will never know what it is to have an erection for more than 4 hours at a time. But
God willing, neither will I.
We can all hope that. But I do think like there's something about the vulnerability it draws out of the character who is himself very not vulnerable. He is in a strong position of power in this world of ours. Having his vulnerabilities presented so openly in the context of the film, I did think added a lot.
But like we were saying, so Keanu has this SlumberCube where you can cheat on your wife, and the word gets out.
Yeah.
At the office. And
because to be clear, I guess, like because of Keanu's allergy, Keanu has special dispensation to strip all surveillance tech out of it. And so it's kind of like a dead zone for all signals and so forth. And it's like it's the one space in the entire city where Keanu can be totally himself. But of course, it also does mean that there's this fun loophole for people who are trying to get around any of that surveillance tech. And so hence Keanu hanging out in bars while other people hang out in his SlumberCube.
So there's like a quick sequence where more and more people are using his SlumberCube, and at the same time he's rising in the ranks at his drudgery company.
Yes, he gets a door.
He gets a door first, still no walls.
Yes, and then he gets the walls, but the door was exciting enough.
And like he's promised, like, you keep it up, you're gonna get a window. Like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's like one of the dystopian elements of it is like there's no public transportation. Like everything is just cars and it's like constant gridlock. But they keep on, like, there's constant news stories. It's like, there's going to be a high-speed rail opening soon. And you get the impression they've been promising this for years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's just never happening. And the whole city's kind of like a Dark City type atmosphere.
It
sort of
definitely
grungy, like...
yeah, it's 2 years before Dark City, but it definitely feels like a major
Set the
inspiration.
tone,
It definitely feels like a major inspiration for Proyas.
But he gets to the parking lot at his office building, and like there's a parking attendant at the gate,
Yeah.
played by the beautiful Halle Berry.
Love Halle Berry, and it's great to see her in this.
But they only have approximately 5 seconds of the day they share together, like when she's opening the gate for him. But you see, like, he makes the most of it every morning.
He does, and he's at his most charming, and she's so charmed by him. And yeah, it's like a nice early relationship. Right away you can tell, like, these two people have chemistry. These two people, if they had in a different world, if they were able to occupy the same space, it would be really beautiful. And yeah, so he has these tickets, and he's like, I'm going to shoot my shot. I'm going to see if Halle Berry. What was her character's name? Do you remember?
Holly Barrymore.
Yeah, it's like how Emma McKay starred Ella McKay starred Emma Mackey.
Right,
yeah, it was one of those
situations.
Yeah, one of those weird coincidences. Yeah, so anyway, so Halle is like, yeah, I'd love to come with you, except I have plans.
And he's like, oh shoot, well, I'll see it myself. And he goes to the movie theater, and it's like,
Or the Broadway theater.
Oh yeah. But he had to wear goggles for it for some reason. It was
Well, I mean,
just
I
like
think that's just
like it's an augmented reality.
Yeah. It's interesting to see like those early efforts and like how they didn't play. It kind of reminds me of like Brave New World. Like they had like the feelies, like Aldous Huxley's idea of what future entertainment would look like. Brave New World is a weird book.
The children are always fucking, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a pretty sexual book, at least. I think it's interesting parallel to 1984, where the idea is like sex is strictly forbidden, and Brave New World's like, people are gonna bang. Or are we cursing on this podcast or not?
I'm trying to limit it to 3 fucks and 6 shits.
So like Marvel rules. No, not Marvel rules, just standard PG-13 rules.
Can you say fuck in 3 times in a PG-13?
No, I think it's more like twice. But I think it's also gotten a little looser.
But it also like depends.
Yes, you can't.
For example, you could say, like when Keanu realizes Halle Berry was at his SlumberCube and he says, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Like that's PG-13. But then when he follows it up with, I think my boss was fucking the girl I like, that's more going into R.
Yeah, I think that is I believe how the rules work.
Now, I just said fuck twice.
Yes.
So we only have one left for the
Well, actually, technically I think you said it more than once when explaining to me how often we could say it.
Oh, shit.
It's all right. I'm glad to know what our limits are. I'm glad we've got a few shits left, though we now have one less one than I read.
God damn it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm also not clear on how many goddammits we have.
I feel like goddammits are kind of an unlimited bucket.
Okay.
I think like it's not like, we don't want to abuse it necessarily.
But as we've said, Keanu now knows that the woman his boss is having an affair with is the woman of his dreams, Halle Berry.
Yeah. So when he's cleaning up the SlumberCube, and by the way, my favorite scenes in this movie are when he's cleaning up the SlumberCube. It's not like a big space, like it's a cube that
Right, and we should mention it's like kind of gelatinous. It's like, and as you start to slumber, like the walls kind of expand and they're like holding you in place.
Yeah, it makes
it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's a little gross. But completely honest, like. I mean, I've never had any like fantasies about returning to the womb. I don't think anyone necessarily has. I mean, if they have, like, keep it to yourself.
Or check this movie out.
Or check this is basically your vibe. It's
Yeah.
this SlumberCube is essentially like kind of weird gelatinous vibe. I would try one night in the SlumberCube. I'm not saying I want to sleep in a SlumberCube every night. I'm just saying I could see the appeal on some levels.
Like you were mentioning, there's scenes of him cleaning up.
Well, it's like
the jizz, the sweat, the various other things that he finds in his SlumberCube. Yeah, and those are nice moments.
Yeah, the Cronenberg direct, like it's not a Cronenberg guy. It's like a Cronenberg disciple, I think. But it definitely feels Cronenberg-y. But like, I mean, the way the SlumberCube works, of course, is that when it's sleep mode, it goes full gelatinous blob. But then, you do have like the gelatinous element does contract a little bit, like for your daily activities, like reconstitute your food cubes.
I like it when it's shower time.
Oh yeah,
and it just comes from like it shoots from every direction.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. Again, I'm not saying I want to live in a SlumberCube.
Nice place to visit.
Nice place to visit. But anyway, so when he's cleaning up the SlumberCube after like the most recent Hallie and Farina-ish interaction, he finds her broken mobile when he manages to repair it, because he's actually a very clever guy. And he's good. He's got some real mechanical knowledge, and so he manages to repair it. And he finds out that on the mobile, he can't really touch it.
Oh right.
He's got the glove. Yeah, I thought I hit a plot hole, but I forgot about the gloves.
Because they're like mad. They're like cool as hell. Because you put them on and they kind of it looks like they fade, and so they look exactly like his hands.
That's why. Yeah, it makes it easy to forget. And honestly, it kind of makes you wonder why he doesn't just wear the gloves all the time.
Constantly. Then he could have one of his own. Yeah. But maybe he doesn't want one.
Maybe he doesn't. Yeah.
He's a Luddite.
Yeah,
I identify with him in lots of ways. As someone who goes to a physical video store and has no streaming services at home, I just put DVDs in. I identify with him in certain ways.
Yeah, I know, and I think it goes back to what we were talking about before about how he has this allergy that enables him to live this lifestyle without getting too much attention, but he does genuinely like it. So yeah, but he looks at her mobile while wearing the fancy gloves, and he figures out that she's been part of this group the whole time. Did you think there's a real question of him considering turning her in?
Oh yeah,
we've already figured out that he's kind of a rebel.
But they do make you think that, because when he's driving on the highway and there's the big billboard that's like report any insurgencies,
and the talking the moving video billboard, by the way, that freaked me out. Right. I was just like, imagine just like having to drive by those all the time. Like
it's so distracting. You'd probably run into someone.
Yeah.
But it's like, call this number to report any illegal activities, and it has, and like the goons show up and like capture people.
Yeah, you see that
throw
in the video
them in vans and stuff. It's real scary stuff, like nightmarish, like dystopian ideas that it would be horrible if stuff like that ever happened in real life.
Yeah, not ideal. Not what you want, just walking around the streets of the city you live in. Yeah, so
the movie makes you think he's gonna turn in Halle Berry's character. But no, and then there's like a nice moment where he's at the gate and they lock eyes.
Right.
And she says, something about your eyes. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And he acknowledges it by passing her the mobile, and he says, I think this is yours, but it's broken. And she looks kind of in the reflection, and there's still a crack. And she says, I like it. It makes me look the way I feel. And I thought that was really emotional. But at this point, they are basically like, she knows it's his apartment. He knows she's going. She knows that knows she's going there and stuff. So they start having a conversation that takes maybe a week or so to get out, because it's just like 5 seconds at a time.
Right.
That's basically like, she says, I have some friends I want to meet with at your SlumberCube because we've got things to say to each other that cannot be overheard by the devices. So basically, like, that night, Keanu can tell, like, there's a bunch of people kind of following him back to his SlumberCube.
Right, yeah.
He gets there, and he like, scans his eye, and they all come in, and it's like one after another. It's almost like a Night at the Opera, where it's, like, way too many people in this SlumberCube,
yeah,
and more and more people.
It was pretty funny, like, watching, like, the gelatinous portion, like, scooch back.
Yeah, that was cool. It's like, it's like that cube cannot stretch any further. Stretch a little bit. But basically, they all get in there, and they're describing, like, we gotta expose the surveillance state.
Yeah.
And there's, like, one of the heroes, and it's played by a young James Gandolfini.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to see James Gandolfini, like, do anything outside The Sopranos, because his career was so limited. Beyond that,
we'll expose the surveillance state, and then we'll topple them. You know, their in is Keanu, because he's working in one of the top floors.
Yeah, that's one of the better twists in the movie, is that Keanu has been working for the company that oversees the whole surveillance system. Right.
Yeah, it's something we never really understood what his job was.
Yeah.
Until this sequence when they explain that they're basically, like, all the drudgery in front of the glowing screens is to create sort of a artificial hive mind that's going to usurp humanity and control everything on Earth.
Yeah, it's creepy stuff, really. I could have said shit there. We have I think we're running low on them, but
right. I think let's just say we have one more, and we're going to use it at the opportune time.
Yes, we'll use it very appropriately. So yeah, they have the meeting, they make their plan,
and they're like, "What are we going to need?" And Keanu's like, "We're gonna need guns, lots of guns."
Oh, it really is funny how much The Matrix really ripped off SlumberCube. I really can't get over it.
And only SlumberCube.
And only SlumberCube. No other references were being made by that movie. So, I mean, do you feel like it moved fast from them coming up with the plan to them actually executing the plan?
I felt like we had switched movies.
Yeah.
This was a sort of a weird romantic dramedy, yeah. And now it got into the action very quickly. And it was cool as hell, because these are people, and they're using all like basically analog technologies like ropes and hooks and stuff.
The bows and arrows I thought were like maybe taking the idea a little too far, but I still also like it was kind of cool.
It was cool, and so like the guards and they're robot guards, so you don't feel bad when they kill the robot guards.
That's always a key detail.
Like they go in, and Keanu is like showing his friends in, and they go through the metal detector, and basically like and they open up their jackets, and there's like a bunch of bows and like the hunting knives and stuff, and the guard is like, "Oh my gosh," right? He doesn't swear.
No.
And then they kick him, and there's cool scenes, and they basically like they take over the building, and they get up to is it Dennis Farina, Dennis Franz?
I think it might be Dan Hedaya.
They get up to his office, and he's like, "You can't stop me, you can't stop me," and he's like kind of doing like a humping motion because like he's so jacked up on the blue. He accidentally injected more of the blue chew.
Yeah, so he is again fully erect for this entire scene.
But they take his eyes, and they like go to like the secret mega chamber.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like those things you used to see at Spencer's Gifts where you put, and there's like lightning going every direction.
Oh yeah,
but a whole room of that.
Right.
They go in, and basically James Gandolfini goes into the room, and like he takes over everyone's mobiles on the whole planet. So they get like alerts.
Right.
And they have to pull out their mobiles and look.
Right.
And James Gandolfini has this real stirring monologue where he explains the whole scheme. There's this surveillance state. They're watching everything you do. They're listening to everything you do. Every time you look at the mobile, they're tracking you, gathering information, and it's all to serve this artificial hive mind that's going to usurp and control all of us.
You know what? The detail I found really creepy from that was the part where he was talking about how like every choice you make, every thing you purchase, every store you visit, like all that data is being fed into a giant machine that's then programmed.
You're telling me the things in this world, the things they buy are not private decisions?
No, all purchasing decisions as well as like location data and so forth they all get slammed together into like this one crazy portrait of a human life as driven entirely by data, and then the company who owns that data now. Yeah, I mean, I'm just quoting directly from his speech right now, I know, but it really did strike me. Like the idea, like, they take all that data and then they use it entirely to try to make you make more purchases. Like that's it's such an eerie concept.
So you get like these various shots like all over the planet. It reminded me of the Truman Show where it's someone in a bathtub. It's like someone at the grocery, and then they're all like looking at their devices, and they're like, you expect like, oh, there's going to be this huge uprising,
right.
But basically it's just met with a shrug. They're like, how about that? And they go back to buying whatever they were gonna buy.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's probably one of the more brilliant touches of SlumberCube. And I mean, I think the movie has its flaws. I've mentioned a couple of them, but I do think it really does have the gumption to like push that ending and really like commit to it. And yeah, and then it ends.
It's like, what if people were in a dystopia, knew they were in a dystopia, and did nothing to fight back against it. Like, that's nightmarish.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it really is very human. Thankfully, of course, our heroes escape.
Oh, yeah, that was cool, because, like, the authorities show up, and it's, like, mega robots with, like, force fields and stuff, and they start grabbing all the Liberation Front people, including James Gandolfini, and they go to grab Halle Berry and Keanu Reeves, but they've got one more trick up their sleeves. They jump out the window, and they're falling, like, many dozens of stories, and he has one last arrow, and he ties a rope around it and shoots, and it hits the wall, and that breaks their fall enough that they don't die, and they run, and they're saying, where can we go where they won't find us? And of course, the one place they can go is to his.
The SlumberCube remains safe. They have this incredible daring escape, and they run, and they make it back to the SlumberCube.
And Keanu kind of bears his soul at that moment.
He
Explains,
really
like, this is how I feel about you. I took some of my boss's blue chew serum, if you wanted to. And he makes spaghetti with a tennis racket.
This is starting to sound more familiar. But you really, though, you can't beat that last line.
Oh yeah, he's like talking about like, I'm so into you and stuff, and then she has the playing cards, and what does she say?
She says, "Shut up and deal," and
that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Also, it's weird though. I think because she's the one dealing. But she says shut up and deal.
Yeah, it's just a little...
it's a little confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's like they came up with that line and then didn't really think out the scene, how they needed to stage the scene to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought? It's a wonderful movie named after a place a normal guy lives.
Yeah, exactly. It's SlumberCube. I mean,
SlumberCube.
The more you say it, it really does just kind of roll off the tongue. I mean, everyone was very excited about Keanu and Halle being in John Wick 3 together, but they never talk about the fact that it was really a SlumberCube reunion.
Oh yeah, you're right. Wonderful movie.
Wonderful movie.
You said you had your problems with it. I was kind of into it. Besides the big shift into where it became like a weird action thing where they're fighting robots. But I identified with the character, I think.
As a professional film critic, it is my job to nitpick and so forth. And that's why, like, I'll tell you all day long about how much I loved one battle after another, but I'll point out a few things that maybe I thought it could have done better.
Name one!
Okay, actually, you got me there. But yeah, I had a great time. Do I think that maybe it would have been a stronger movie if it had stayed to more of the character-focused stuff and not introduced a crazy third act full of action and violence?
But then you might as well have made it not take place in a dystopian world.
Yeah, I mean...
And you might as well have cast someone, I don't know, like a Jack Lemmon type.
I mean, if you want to go old school with it, I guess. You could, I mean, and it also, like, if you're removing, like, the kind of the more serious action stuff from it, you could go with, like, a female star who probably doesn't have that same level of experience, like a Shirley MacLaine. I would have loved to see Shirley MacLaine, like, do the triple arrow shot that
that was cool.
Halle Berry pulls off. That was really something.
When the three robots are coming from every direction.
Yeah, and then she just, like, fires.
And they're like, you're done for. And she's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then it goes every direction. I didn't know how she did that.
No, it was pretty magical. Especially because, like, you have to remember, it's the 1990s. It's not like they could CGI everything. Halle was incredible in that moment. But I do think somebody like Shirley MacLaine would have really killed it.
She'd look cute with that haircut, with the short hair.
She would look cute with a short haircut. I wonder if she ever, like, considered that. But
you should ask her next time you interview her.
I will ask Shirley MacLaine the next time I interview her. This is a joke that would play great in the 90s, so it feels very appropriate to say. I could commune with Shirley MacLaine right now and find out. Because Shirley MacLaine, I believe, was famous for conducting seances and trying to speak to people from beyond the grave. It's funny how I'm hitting that age where the pop culture references I grew up with that were slightly older than my, like...
yes.
Like, think your Simpsons Season 1 pop culture jokes.
Right, yeah.
All of those are now so old in comparison to today's pop culture that I feel like I'm going insane.
You're talking, like, I have a podcast where, as a hypothetical, we might spend an entire episode riffing on a movie from 1960, and maybe no one listening to would even get that.
Yeah, there's a slight chance that feels like a similar situation. But yeah, SlumberCube, great movie.
SlumberCube, wonderful. All right, thank you so much for picking out that movie. I loved it. To end things out, okay, in the first season of the show, I ended out with plugs and rants.
Sure.
So it's like anything you want to promote, and then anything you want to, like, get off your chest and, like, complain about. But I'm changing things up. I want to do, like, less negativity in the new year, new season. My new thing's plugs and shout outs.
Sure.
But, like, now instead of rants, like, something you want to shout out, something you want to celebrate.
Sure.
So for me, I want to give a shout out to celebrities having no shame about shilling these days. I remember not too long ago, a self-respecting celebrity wouldn't be caught dead, like cheapening their image with a quick TV ad paycheck. But now the biggest names in Hollywood are taking commercial gigs, and I salute them for it. I'm tipping my hat to A-listers like Matt Damon, Kevin Hart, Jon Hamm, Jennifer Coolidge. They have no concern for their reputation and no concern for artistic integrity, and certainly no concern for the working class actors who actually would need those commercials to pay their bills. So this shamelessness about something that should be very embarrassing has inspired me to have no shame about selling out any opportunity that I get. So this podcast is brought to you by Fry's Electronics. Liz, do you have anything you want to plug or shout out?
I would, in all seriousness, like to plug my newsletter. It's called Stream On. It is part of my job here at consequence.net. Every Friday, I recommend four movies or TV shows that have recently premiered on streaming that you might enjoy.
Every week you do this?
Every week I do this.
Wow, you consume a lot of media.
It is what I get paid to do.
Okay.
But yes, 4 movies or TV shows I recommend that are recent premieres, and then I have a Blast from the Past section where I pick a library title that might be fun. And
you should recommend The Apartment. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, it rings a bell. I'll check it out. And then I also I do a special guest section where I have someone from the worlds of entertainment, as diverse as they may be, will come in and tell me a movie or TV show they've recently watched. And like in the last month, I had recommendations from the director of Anaconda,
fun,
the showrunner for the Peacock series Bel Air, and Diane Kruger.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Diane Kruger.
Yeah, she was fun.
Well, let me know if you ever want someone who's written a few episodes of children's television, and I might be able to have a hookup for you.
I will keep you posted. But I imagine if I give you a link, you will put that link in the show description.
Yeah, I'd love to.
People can subscribe to the newsletter, because that is like the reaction of you do this every week is something I get from close friends and family. And so I've been trying to be better about promoting it in general, just reminding I do this thing and I put a lot of work into it and it's fun. Awesome. And I hope servicey. Like, I hope people genuinely are like, oh, I did not know about this thing, or, oh, I did not know that this movie that was in theaters a couple months ago is now available for streaming on this service. And then shout out, thing I want to be positive about. I think I mentioned the movie Babylon a little earlier. Babylon has become, it was the 2022 Damien Chazelle movie.
Right. His follow-up to La La Land, right?
Yes. Follow-up to La La Land.
No, First Man. First
Man came between them. But Babylon was really him, like, cashing in his blank check. And oh my goodness, it is a wonderful, wonderful, messy hodgepodge of a movie, but it's so beautiful in so many moments and so ugly in so many moments, and it makes you think about life and death and immortality and storytelling and the power of the movies. And when the movie premiered, I saw it at a press screening and I was like, what the hell is that? I then went and saw it with a couple of friends like a couple weeks later on January 1st and was like, now that I've seen it a second time, I think I genuinely love this movie. And every New Year's Day since, I have made a point of rewatching it. And like this year, I went into it thinking, do I really have the energy for a 3-hour and 8-minute movie about the death of the silent film industry? Maybe I don't. But like 30 minutes into it, I was just like, no, this hits so good. This is so great. So yes, I highly recommend the movie Babylon. Everyone has their New Year's traditions. That one's mine.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Do you not watch it with small people around?
Okay.
It's a little X-rated.
Whoa! I'm definitely checking it out now.
Remember what I was saying about boobs before?
Yeah.
Yeah, same deal.
Margot Robbie's in it, right?
Yeah.
I'm checking that out.
You don't see her boobs.
Ah, shit. Well, I've seen it.
And on that note.
And that was my last shit of the episode. Thank you so much, Liz. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Forgotten Video Store. Since we recorded this, I did watch Babylon, a movie whose opening scene features an elephant blasting diarrhea all over a couple of guys and the camera lens. Needless to say, I loved it. Tell all the movie freaks in your life about this podcast, and don't forget to subscribe, because next week I've got a really great writer / musician / improviser on the show to review a wonderful bisexual romantic drama that dips a toe into genetic engineering. It's good. The music in this episode is Funky Energy Loop by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. Okay, bye.